If you're looking to increase your Shopify conversion rate in 2023 without a lot of effort, then this video is exactly for you. If you don't know who I am, which you probably don't, my name is Spencer Pauliu and I run a growth-focused agency by the name of Easy A Media. Don't ask. And we specialize in helping 6- and 7-figure brands scale to 8 figures and beyond by utilizing conversion rate optimization and growth-focused paid media. Now, when it comes to increasing conversion rate, there never really is a straight path. And don't get me wrong, there are certain things that you do need to be doing, like providing credibility and showing reviews and making sure that your imagery lines up with what you're selling and what you're saying. But that's for another video. But today, I just want to focus on the top 2 split tests that you can run 100% by yourself without the help of a developer that should have a big increase and a big impact on your overall conversion rate. Now, when I say big impact, this could be 5% for a really big brand, or this could be 20 or 30% depending on what you already have in place. But with that said, let's dive into split test number 1. Now, split test number 1 that I'm going to recommend that you run is a homepage hero section test. Now, depending on how much traffic you have coming to your store, maybe you have 10,000 a month, maybe you have 100,000 a month, maybe you have 1 million a month. The hero section on your homepage is going to be seen by probably 80 to 90% of those people, depending on which page you're directing traffic to from your other links. That homepage section is the first impression of your entire brand. And if you don't have a good first impression, as you can imagine, people are probably just going to leave. So what we recommend doing is setting up an A/B test for your current hero section versus a hero section that is a lot more optimized. And that's exactly what I want to show you, how to make things a little bit more optimized on your hero section. So as you can see, we are inside of Google Optimize, which is probably the most well-known split test tool that is unfortunately being sunsetted in September. With that said, don't worry, I have a new split test software or platform video coming out next week that is going to show you what we're doing as an agency to transfer to actually an even better split test tool. But for the time being, this tool is free and we'd still recommend that you use it, as we actually still are using it at the agency as well. So as you can see, I have one of our client optimized accounts loaded up, and what we're going to do is actually create an experience from scratch. So the first thing you need to do is you obviously need to come in and create an experience and just name it whatever you want. So let's just call this the homepage optimization, and we're going to set this up as an A/B test. So the A/B test, what this allows you to do is actually visually create things inside of your website without having to code them. Pretty awesome, I know. So what we're gonna go do is we're gonna click create, and what that's going to do is load up our new file. So what we wanna do is we want to start adding our first variant. Now for our first variant, we're gonna dive in and we're gonna call this the Easy A Media even more optimized homepage, as we've already optimized this client's homepage, which you'll see in a second. And what you're going to do is you're going to click right into the edit tool. Now, once the editor loads up, you can see we have a beautiful homepage here for one of our clients over at Life in Tech. But what we want to do is we want to focus on optimizing 3 main areas of your hero section. Number 1 is going to be the actual imagery itself. Okay, so as you can see, we have this great image of this girl on a really interesting background. We got the little circle to try to draw attention and focus there, and she's holding one of our clients' products. So again, when you land on this page, if you look at that hero image, you can see that this is obviously a dryer. Now, point number 2 that we want to focus on, and we're actually going to split test and optimize probably more than anything else, is the actual title itself. Now, whenever someone lands on this page, their eyes are basically going to go to one of 3 areas, and we're going to optimize all 3. Number 1 is the title. Okay, where am I? What is this? This is a fast hair drying, or a fast hair dryer, or fast hair drying without heat damage. Okay, got it. I am interested. Okay, we talk about what the product does or what the product is, and then we talk about one of the main benefits. That is so important, because at the end of the day, we need to be clear on what we're selling, but we also need to incorporate a benefit some way. The next thing that they might look at is the hero image itself. And again, that's what I mentioned. When you look at this image, you can see that that is a girl holding a dryer. Okay, makes sense. And the third area that we want to look at is the actual CTA, or the call to action itself. So if someone looks at this call to action, they should know what it is that they're buying, or where it is they're about to go. So as you can see here, we see shop all hair dryers. And I'm telling you, just a simple change like this and adding more information to your call to action buttons will help people understand what you're selling a lot more clearly. Now, before we get into making any kind of desktop optimizations, I always recommend that you jump in and change this to mobile. Now, the reason we want to change this to mobile is because this is where probably 70 to 80% of your traffic is coming from. Okay, so if we're going to optimize a page, we should probably make sure that it's working well on mobile. So what we always recommend our clients to do, or what we always recommend people who are wanting to launch splint test do, is load up Optimize in the responsive window that shows you it on mobile. And now again, as you can see, when someone lands on this on their phone, they are presented with the main title, which is fast hair drying without heat damage. They have an image that they can see right away. We've got some great social proof there, and we've got a clear call to action that says shop all hair dryers. So if you were to come in and set up a split test, what you can come in and do using Optimize is click edit element, edit text, and you can change this right inside of here. So let's just, maybe we want to change this to fastest hair dryer or healthier hair. Done. So there we go. Now we have just made a change, and as you can see, the changes we'll keep track up here. We've now changed this to the fastest hair dryer for healthier hair. Again, maybe not the best headline going off top here, but that is how you can start to optimize your 3 sections using Google Optimize very simply. Same thing here. If you want to change this image, you can go to your Shopify backend and you can upload an image. And then same with the CTA. Maybe we want to change the shop all hair dryers to something else. And what we can do is, again, we can edit this text to say shop award-winning dryers, right? As you can see, the button will actually expand for you as well. But there you go. Now we've just made another change to this page that we can keep track of. So now we can test this homepage section to the previous homepage section, which, if we're doing this the right way, will be more optimized, but obviously I'm just going off the top of my head. But this is something that you can do. You can go ahead and click save, that it will now go ahead and update once you decide to push this split test live through Google Optimize, and you can start keeping track of the data for what is actually going on. Now, if you don't know how to set up the rest of Google Optimize, just go ahead and you can see there's setup objectives, and the main objectives that we like to track are, transactions and revenue. So those are the two primary objectives being transaction, secondary objective being revenue. But once you are happy with your page, what's really, really cool about this as well is you can go and you can take a mobile preview and it will load up the page for you and you can see what it looks like. And now again, this is just going to redirect 50% of the traffic from your homepage to this new page. Now, as you can see, obviously my face is going to be blocking it now, but this award-winning dryer, like you saw there, is not really looking that great on mobile. So that is something that you would probably want to change. But what's really great about this is, again, this is not live on the site or anything like that. It doesn't start until I actually click start. But that is a great example of how you can optimize your homepage and your overall hero experience to have a better first impression and convert more visitors. Now, split test number 2 that you're going to want to run is an order form optimization. Now, the same principles are in play here. Your order form and what you have above the fold is going to be seen by every single person who is thinking about buying your product. So it's probably pretty important that you have it optimized. All right, now, as you can see, we are loaded back up into Optimize again. And this is where we're going to talk about 3 more things that you can do on your product page to try to increase conversion rate and run a split test to make sure that you're getting the most out of your product pages. Now, as you can see, I'm back in the mobile view here, but something that you actually just want to implement right away onto your store without really having to split test is just optimize imagery. Now, I'll get into 3 points that you can do and you can test using Optimize, but if you look at the images that we have for this client, you can see they're very detailed and they have a lot of information on them. The reason why we do that is because this is by far the most abused section on all of any website anywhere. Is like, people love to scroll through and love to click through these photos. So you have to take advantage of that. So by putting in all of this information that you may be building out underneath your fold and all of these benefits that you have, if you just put that inside of the order form section, it forces them. Same with videos. It forces the people to actually see them. So this order form section up here would definitely recommend that you implement some photos into just your product carousel through Shopify to improve your overall experience there. But in regards to things that you can split test, the number one thing that you want to split test while you're on this page is making sure that there's not a lot of information in between your buying process and what you're doing to actually describe the product. We see time and time again, people will have, their reviews, which is great, their product name and the price. And then instead of having the color selector and add to cart, they have benefits and a big long description and all these awards and all these like prompts and stuff like that. pushing the add to cart button so far down that it's almost impossible for someone to actually purchase with ease. So number one is make sure you hide anything that is in the way of actually the person buying. And sometimes what we like to do as well is we sometimes like to hide the price, depending if we're doing a sale or depending, maybe we're not actually doing a price slash. Is just remove the price and put it inside of the add to cart button. As you can see, that brings more information up above the fold, which above the fold is the most important area. The next thing that I would really recommend that you do is you get 3 to 4 main benefits of your product right underneath the add to cart. That point right there is going to help immensely with getting people to understand why your product matters and why they should get it. Okay, these 3 to 4 main benefit points and risk reversal, check marks and selling points help people understand your product. Now, the next thing that I would recommend that you do, and basically the third and final thing, is just be clear on what it is you're selling. I see a lot of times people like to, use, for example, this style of like product image or, like a really focused lifestyle image, like an image like this as their first, image in the carousel. Just be very simple with what it is that you're selling. Your first image should always just be the product itself, so that when someone lands there, they can actually see what it is. And same goes with the title. Okay, I understand people like to customize titles and go, all in on adding benefits. And again, I don't think there's anything wrong with, maybe editing this text so that, you have a benefit at the end. So, maybe for all hair types, you can do something like that, and that's fine. We're just to call this the Life in Swift, right? And just leave it at that. People are like, what's the Life in Swift, right? Obviously you can figure it out, but you just want to be so straightforward on what it is that you're selling. So just make sure you're clear on your product naming so that when someone lands on the page, boom, there's a hair dryer. This is a hair dryer, right? It all makes sense. And there's just no confusion when someone lands on the page. So to wrap up this video, number one, homepage optimization. Make sure you get all of those crucial points onto your page where we're talking about being very clear with what you're selling, having great imagery, and providing ways for people to take action. And then in regards to split test number 2 with your order form optimization, make sure you're being very clear on what your product does and the main benefits and why people should care about it. Make sure you take advantage of that order form carousel as it gets a ton of interaction, and make sure it is very easy for someone to take action and buy your product. Now, if you got a lot of value out of this video, I'd love for you to subscribe or just click like, as I plan on posting conversion rate optimization and growth hacking videos for Shopify brands throughout the rest of this year. Or if you are a Shopify brand looking for the help of an agency to help you optimize your pages or run better paid media, then I'd love to invite you to book a call with me down below. But with that said, I'm gonna leave this here. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video.